KE6VRK here. Today we're looking at the TH-D74. This is one of the Ferrari of ham radios. It has 2 meter, 220, and it is D-Star capable. Fascinating radio. And it's a lot of fun. The radio does a lot. We will be covering a lot with this radio. And on this video, it has a table of contents. So I'm going to go through various parts of the radio. For example, memories, how to set up memories, and what all these functions do. And with the table of contents, you can just select that portion that you would like to watch, and it will go there automatically to that video. So the first part I want to actually go through is how to enter a frequency, and also how to put a frequency with a tone and a shift. So let's do that. Let me turn the radio on. And I am putting this on single mode. Let me turn off APRS. Okay, so this is the radio turned on. So let me turn on the radio and let's give this a run. So there is the radio VFO mode. Usually that's how it will start. So in VFO mode, which we are in right now, you can see it has memory and VFO. We are in VFO mode. Here is memory, just so you know what it does. Here's VFO mode. The way you enter a frequency on this is you hit enter, and we'll put 14652 0. Now, say you want to have a shift. This repeater I'm going to enter has a positive shift. This radio has been reset. So let's see if it automatically does that. If I hit enter, I'm going to try 147090. Automatically it will go to a shift. So with this, let's set a tone and a type of tone. So if you see number 8 has tone and tone select. If we hit number 8, it'll cycle through the various types of tones. You can see it right here. DCS, there's all different types of tones. The one you want is just T, tone. Now let's go to T select. To hit T select, you hit function and T select. And now you can turn the dial and go through the various tones. And we'll put it at 88.5 for the heck of it, and then hit OK. Now the tone is at 88.5. So let me try something. If we go back to tone select, if you hold down tone, it will scan it. So I would do that again. Here's the repeater. We do tone select, hit that button, tone select, hold down tone again, and it will scan the tone. Obviously, if you're getting something from the repeater, it will find it. I'm going to transmit to stop it. And that is how you enter a frequency, set a tone, type of tone, and how you scan it. Let's play with the shift. Number 7. Reverse and shift. This is on plus. Let's go to minus. Go to shift, function, shift. Now we're on minus. Let's see what else this says. Let's do function, shift again. Now we're on simplex. Function, shift again. Now we're on plus. So let's store a frequency. Let's do two things. Let's just store a simplex frequency. For example, 14650 without a tone. A regular frequency. So what you do, number 2 has M in. Anytime you hit the top one, you always hit function. So go to function, M in, and then rotate the dial to the number you wish to put the memory in. And let's put it in 1. Then you hit enter. Now that is inside memory 1. See where it says edit? Push edit. So now you can assign a group, or you can do a name. And you choose name, you move it down, hit enter, and you can call it simplex. SIMP. Let's call it that. Enter. So now it is called simplex. To get out of that menu, you can hit the left arrow and just go back. Now if we go to memory, I've only got one in here. There it is, simplex. Now, let's delete that one. Let's delete memory channel 1. If you're in VFO, hit memory, turn to the one you want to delete, hit enter. Now you get to the memory channel list. Hit menu, and you will get a choice to clear memory. So hit OK. OK to clear again. Now it is cleared. There is nothing in 1. So now let's do the same thing with a more complicated one. Let's try, we're going to enter 147090. Automatically sets the offset. We set a tone. And then we set a certain frequency, 88.5. So now we have a frequency with everything set up on it. Let's store that in memory 1 also. So we do function, memory in, and we're going to put it on 1 and hit OK. It is now in memory 1. So if we get out of this, you can go to memory. Let's turn the dial. And there it is. Now it's in channel 1. Let's delete this memory. As an exercise, hit enter, then hit menu, clear memory, hit OK. It's going to ask, are you sure you want to clear it? And then hit OK again. It is now cleared. And then we go backwards, and there is no memory channel 1. How to do a split frequency. For example, your output, set your output first. Say our output is 146520. That's our output. Now, what you do with your output, that is the output. Let's store that in memory 1. Function, memory in, choose 1, hit enter. That's fine. That's your output. Now, go back. Let's say you want to transmit on 146500. Say it's satellite work, or even another band like 440 or anything. Now let's say you put a tone on it. Let's put a tone and let's put a select 88.5, because this is your transmit frequency. So you want to transmit with a tone, whatever you want to do. So then you go to function memory in, put it on 1. Now you'll see split. So you hit split. There. Now it doesn't show you anything, and it doesn't even display anything on there when you go to edit. It just shows the output frequency. So go back. Let's go to the memory. Now you'll see a plus minus on there. Now when you transmit, you'll see, look at that. It goes to 146,500. I'll leave the line on so you can see it. 146,500, and that's going to be with its tone. And that is how you store a split frequency. Let's make a correction here. If you want to store it with a tone, this is how you do it. This is how you store a split frequency with a tone. We're going to go to VFO, and we're going to say our output is 146,520, and we have a tone set. You'll see T. T is set, and we're also going to use 88.5. So we have that set. Save that. That is your frequency you're going to be used for transmitting. Save that. That is the tone you'll be using for the transmitter. So let's store that in memory 2. Let's put in memory 2. Hit enter. And now that's in memory 2. Now we store the transmit frequency. And let's say that's 146,500. You can leave the tone and all that information on it if you like to. So you go to function, memory in. Let's choose 2, and then you hit this where it says split. There. Now, if we go to memory, you'll see plus and minus, and now you'll see the tone. So if you transmit, it transmits with the tone. And that is how you store a frequency that is a different type of split. Very useful for satellite work and for other repeaters that use different offsets. Now, let's go through some basic operations. First, adjusting the internal clock. Here's how you do that. It is menu item 950. So you hit menu, PF1, which is right here. Then you hit list, and then mark. You'll see this number right here on the top, 950. So now you have the internal clock. So you can set the date and time by moving here. You can use this joystick to set the date and the time. And if you continue to the right, now you'll be on the time. So if we set the time, then go to the right again, and now you can set your time zone, UTC, whatever that time zone would be. And if you hold it down, it will cycle through the numbers. Just so you can see, if you go backwards, if you cycle down, the numbers go really fast. And that is how you set the date and the time. Now, adjusting the volume. You turn this knob here to adjust your volume. It does not display the volume on the screen. And you will not hear a sound if the squelch is closed. However, if you do want to hear a sound, on here there is a moni key, M-O-N-I, just moderate, push it, and you can even see the meter to get a full volume of everything. Now you can adjust, adjusting the volume balance, the balance between A and B. I am going to put this on A and B. See where it says dual right here? If I do function, dual, now you have two different readouts of A and B. And you can go back and forth between A and B by just pushing them. To adjust the volume balance, it's menu number 910, which we can do by doing menu 9 1. To adjust the volume balance, you have to go to menu 910. So you go to menu, PF1, 9, and then VFO is 1 and 0. There. And now you can see the volume level between the two. So on A, I have APRS. If I don't wish to hear it, I can move this to here to favor B, or you can listen to them equally, or I can favor A. Now you can see if I move, go to A and go up, you can make this operation band only, which will hear that band only. The sound of the output, the sound of this band is the priority. Same if I go to B, push it down, this one, B, is the priority. And you can adjust that however you like. Setting of the dual mode for A or B, you can switch between modes. When you first get the radio, it will be in dual mode. You can push A and B and it will switch between bands. You can just run one band by hitting function, dual, and now you're on one band. And you can switch between them by pushing this, the AB button. Now you're on this second, now you're on the first, and you can tell by how it's raised. The top one is A, the bottom one is B. So you actually can't lose track of which one is A and which one is B. Instead of placing a letter, it just does it by raising it. Selecting an operation band. A and B band can be used for various different operations or whatever you want to do. And you can push A or B. You can have it in a dual band, like we said. You can keep setting each one. Or you can go to dual and show them both and switch them back and forth. And remember the other menu item, which is the volume balance. You will see that on the table of contents. So you can actually mute one of these out. You can change the frequency bands for these on A or B. That has to do with the right and left buttons. Let's go to the top one, A. If you push this for 1 second, you can change the band it operates on. Now it's on 220. Now it's on 440. Now it's back to 2 meters. Let's try it on the bottom one. If you push it to the right, now you get different bands. Because remember, B on this radio is more broadbanded. So now you're on the 118 megahertz band. Actually, we can just go through the bands and see. If I hold it, now this one goes to 220. If I hold it, now it goes to, actually it goes into D-star setting mode, which is kind of interesting. Now it's on a 430 megahertz band. Now you're on commercial band. And now you're on HF. 50. Now you're on 6 meters. And now you're on the FM broadcast band. So you could switch these around, and I could take it back to 144 megahertz band or 440. The modulation. Setting the modulation mode. This is very useful. If you are on B, on this radio, B is a broader band. You can go from HF to as high as the radio will go. However, let's pretend on B, you want to hear things in another mode, such as AM, lower sideband, upper sideband, CW. It is very useful. If you are on B and you hit mode, now it changes. Now you're in digital mode. Now you're in AM mode. You can see it displayed right there. Now you're on lower sideband. You can hear it too. Now you're on upper sideband, CW, and back to FM. So the total modes are FM, digital mode, on this case D-star, AM, lower sideband, upper sideband, CW, and FM. Changing the mode from narrow FM or FM. Right here, it is on 144/100 in B. You can do this in A also. You go to the menu, and then what you do is you go to TX and RX, transmit and receive. Then hit enter, and now you can hit receive, and you're going to get different options. VFO, a beat shift oscillator, detect out, select. There it is, FM narrow. So you can see that is menu 103. And if you hit to the right to select that menu, you can choose FM narrow on or FM narrow off. OK, we'll save that. So you can also go to menu 103. Adjusting the step. In VFO mode, I am on B. If you turn the knob, it will cycle through various frequencies. Even if you push up and down, it will cycle through various frequencies. Now, if you wish to step through a larger amount, at least by 1 megahertz, push megahertz down here, and then push this, and you can see it's now going by 1 megahertz. Adjusting the squelch. This is your chosen frequency that I chose on here. If you press F and this key, Moni, on here, function Moni, now you'll see the squelch level appear, and you can adjust that with the knob. You can also do it with the up and down buttons. You can see it's open all the way to 5. Adjusting your transmitter output. This frequency can be any frequency you wish. In this case, it's 144.100 in the 2 meter band. Hit function, menu, it'll be on H. Function, menu, now it is on M. Function, menu, now it is on low. Function, menu, and this is the extra low. Extra low is around 0.05 watts. H high is about 5 watts. Also depends on your antenna, remember. M is 2 watts. L is 0.5 watts. Selecting keyboard functions. On the keyboard, you will see multiple functions. One is a 0, one is a POS position, and this one is mark. Function is yellow. That pertains to all the yellow headings on top. So if you hit function and 0, will give you your current position. If you hit function and MV, that will do a memory shift. This only works in memory mode. Now, if you do function and new, let's try that, function and new, it'll give you a new APRS message. Function and 7, which is shift, is automatically used. You can choose the repeater or make a simplex communication. For example, we are on 144.100. If you hit function, shift, now it will go positive. You'll see the plus. We do function, shift, it'll go down, or function, shift with nothing, it is simplex. Another very, very useful thing. Actually, another thing is fine, function and fine. And what fine does, function fine, that does not operate on 2 meter or 440. It doesn't do anything. That is useful if you are on HF. If I go to 740 meter band and I've hit function and fine, now when I turn it, it no longer goes by 5s, it's going into a fine mode. Megahertz will also work too. So now it is on fine mode. That is without fine mode. If you do fine mode, now it will go through the VFO in fine mode. Another useful thing is tone select. If you want to run a tone frequency, you must turn on tone first. So if I hit just tone, tone is on. Then if I hit function, tone select, now you can choose a frequency. Another useful thing about that, if you hit function, tone and hold it down, it will go into a scanning mode. and the tone will appear right on the radio. Step, adjust the step. Go to function step. That will adjust your step as we go through. For example, in 2 meter mode, these are the steps you have available. I do not see any custom steps either. ATT is the attenuator, which is very useful if you have a strong signal nearby. Perhaps doing contesting, you can hit function attenuator. ATT will show on. ATT will display, and it will attenuate the input in case there is a nearby signal. I'm going to turn it off, and that is off. OBJ is for APRS, and OBJ is, this only happens in APRS mode, which we will do on another video, or on this video. It will be in the table of contents. APRS here, function APRS, will turn on APRS, and that is working. Then if you hit it again, APRS, now it goes into KISS mode. 12 means 1200 baud. APRS will display 12 also. Now we're in KISS mode. And KISS mode works great because when you're in KISS mode on this radio, you go to the USB port. So you can see what type of USB port this radio has. You hook it up to your computer. I've been able to use it on Mac or PC, and it will become a KISS modem, which I've used for APRS, and I've used it just for regular bulletin boards, which is kind of fun, doing it straight from the radio. CIN function is call channel registration. So you can actually put in, for example, you can make this as your calling frequency. You would just hit function CIN, and that becomes a calling channel. Number 2, you will see the other video of how to set up a memory, how to show recall memory. That means memory in. You'll find that on the table of contents. And number 1 is a memory shift, which will go from whatever, it only works in memory mode or call mode. Has a little arrow, as you can see, it goes from the memory to the VFO, so you can actually put them in. Let me try this. Let me see what this does, if it does work. No, has to be in memory mode. So you can put a memory to the VFO. For example, I have this frequency. If I hit function, there, goes to the VFO. And now you're on the VFO and you can cruise around with it. So you have some top ones. Dual mode controls the top, whether you're doing single, and you can switch back and forth by hitting A and B. You can hit dual, and you can still switch back and forth, but both frequencies will be displayed. This is the power mode, which is in our other table of contents, which is on the table of contents. If you hit function mode, you can see it's on high, now it's on medium, now it's on low, and now it's on extra low, which is 0.05 watts, or really low. Digital is on here, D-star mode, digital function mode, which only works in digital mode. If I put this in digital mode, I'm in digital mode, but then if I go to function digital, now you have a whole menu that we will go through, and this will be on the table of contents of how to set settings in D-star. These are the menu items you get: destination, CS setting, your history, a scan, DV or DR mode, a route, repeater detail, and then the other one was voice or data, depending on what you're doing. It has auto reply. Menu access. A lot of times on the internet, you will see various menu items being shown. For example, let's just look at number 920. You'll see that. So what you do is you do menu 920, and that is a battery saver menu. I'll do that again. Do menu 9, they show up on here. 2, there's a 2, and then there's a 0. And it takes you to the menu. Some quick notes. Anytime you press the PTT button, the menu mode will end without confirming any settings. For example, if you go to memory 920 and I make a change, I say 5 seconds, but I don't hit OK, I've just canceled it and it's not doing anything. Another useful item, going back a menu, mode will return to the mode will always backspace a menu. You do menu 920, battery saver, but if you hit mode, it will backspace. Now you're on the 2, and it will backspace to 9. Now you can change it to 7, 2, or 7. You can play around with it. Now you're on 700. If you hit mode, it will go backwards. Canceling a scan. If you are scanning, for example, 144, if I push down VFO, it will scan. You can see it is now scanning. And if I hit menu, it will cancel the scan. Let's go through scanning. There are 3 scanning modes: time operated mode, carrier operated mode, and then seek mode. If you're not in digital mode, you go to menu 130. So you go to menu 130. So here you can activate time mode. So in time mode, you have resume time. It even has the resume digital time. And then you have a time restart and a carrier restart. It has different modes. Priority scan, and then the auto backlight, which is really useful. And then it has a weather scan also. So you can do time operated resume time, which is 132. And that is when a signal is received, the scan will pause on that frequency for a duration and then continue. and that is on 5 seconds. Now you can do carrier operated resume time, which is menu 133. So if it gets a carrier, it will stay on there for about 2 seconds. And then you have a band scan. And what the band scan will do, it will scan the whole frequency range, select your desired operation band and frequency. So this is the band. Say we want to scan on 144 band. If you hit VFO for 1 second, it will start scanning. And if you push it again, it will stop. Memory scan will scan memories. If you hit memory and then you hold memory down, it will scan a memory. If I hold it down on this one, if I hold it down on the top one, it will go through all these frequencies. Now some other operations. You can prevent transmissions from happening on transmit inhibit, which is menu 110, and you can turn this on or off to prevent the radio from being transmitted, used as a transmitter. And you can control the LED, the busy light. You can save some power, and that is on menu 181. And I have it checked on receive. You can also put it on the radio, but you can turn that off and it will turn off the LED, so receive won't show, at least the blue light or anything won't show, which is this light up here. There's a certain light that will appear. Changing the meter type. So you can do menu 905, and you can change the type of meter that is used when you receive. You can have 3 different meter types. The key beep, menu 914, you can turn the beep on or off. However, realize that 2 things. Realize that this will still beep when the auto power is set. After 30 minutes, for example, you will hear beep before it turns off. And if you transmit longer than the timeout timer. Beep volume 915. This is the volume of the beep, and that goes to 7. Next is the battery saver, 920, menu 920. This will save the battery. If no key is pressed for about 5 seconds, this reduces the battery consumption after a certain amount of time. This actually will turn off the receiver on menu 920. This, after this certain amount of time, will actually turn off the receiver, and then it will go into a saving mode and then turn on the receiver now and then to listen. How to reset your radio. If you hit function and power on, you will see function and the power. You will see 3 choices. You can reset the VFO, partial or full reset. To cancel it, you can turn the radio off. Now let's go through some APRS settings. The first one is your call sign. These are some of the most important points. The call sign is menu number 500, menu 500. And at that point you enter your call sign, and then you can put the dash for whatever indication you wish to put. The other quick one you want is your station icon, menu 501. This one will allow you to go up and down and change your station to whatever icon is available. And then you push OK to set that. Here's an important menu item, is setting the band frequency for APRS. You can use A or B. Look at menu 506. You can find which band you want to set as the data band. The radio will default to A band as long as you set it to 144.390 in the United States. Setting APRS. Setting the APRS to on. Look on number 5 and you go to function, APRS, and that is on. You'll see it. 12 is 1200 baud, and this is on beacon. And you can also change it again. You push function and this again, and now you are on KISS mode at 1200 baud. Transmitting a beacon. If you are in APRS mode like this, you just push BCN and you can turn on the option to send a beacon. The beacon will not send unless the GPS has been set. Right now it would have transmitted, but the GPS is not set right now. It is on automatic mode, but I'm inside and I've had the GPS off for a while. So it'll come back on GPS. And this has to be on 144.390. That turns on the beacon. List mode will show all the repeaters that have been detected in the area. And if you hit enter on any of them, like this one, you can see the location of where the repeater is. You can see the icon, even what type of radio, and if you keep pushing the down button, or if you go across to the right, you can see more information, the speed, the altitude, and even shows you a location which turns on once the GPS is on. It will show you a lot of information, including first and last. Very useful information. That's on the 4th page. That's what it shows on the 4th page. To get out of it, you can just hit left to go back. Another quick message about APRS. You go to menu, go to GPS, make sure GPS is set to on, and then go back. Your GPS icon is there, and where I'm at right now in this area, you can see position, you hit function, POS, and the position will kick in If I go through the pages, you can see it'll give your position, direction, and then it'll show you available satellites that do exist. Entering a message on APRS is actually very easy. It is now flashing, so now there is a position. And there we go, we can see position, and you can see the satellites. Let's enter a message on APRS. We'll transmit to WeatherBot. APRS is off, I need to turn it on, so we're going to hit function, APRS, and now APRS is on. Let's go to new, number 4. Go to function, new. So now we have a new APRS message. Hit OK, and let's put WXBOT. So W space X space B O T. Then push enter again. The one thing I like about this radio, it's actually very, very easy to enter messages. That's what's really nice about it. It will actually do repeat too. Then you scroll it down to the message. So then you hit the message down. And let's try San Diego. So let's try 9. Just keep pushing it till it goes to 9, 2, 1. Space 1 0. There. Hit enter again. That just needs the zip code, and then we hit send. You can watch the status of your message. If you go to message number 4, and you can see the arrow is still sending it out. If you hit enter, now you can see your message. It's transmitted the 3rd time. Goes up to 4 times. So now let's go back and wait for the received message. Again, to send a beacon, you just push BCN, push this, and it automatically will transmit a beacon. There's my position, it'll send it out. That's what message it looks like. Now it received the message that I just transmitted, and I got an acknowledgement that the server has received it. So now let's check out when the message comes back. There we go. So that is the message, how it comes back. And if you want to read the message, we go back, hit message. That is the symbol for a received message. We hit enter, and now we can read. Now we can read the message. And if you scroll down, and if you go to the right, it'll give you the other half of the message. It's 2 pages, and that is the message. And that's what it's like to receive a message on this radio. So now we have custom phrases, and let me show you that trick really fast. If we go back to our messages, we go to new message, we go to 2, and I'm going to put the same thing, WXBOT, hit enter, move it down to the message, hit enter. If you hit F, this one will give you your messages. If we try number 4, we can try that one. You just select it, hit it, then hit enter, and we can send it. There we go, just sent it, receive the message, and let's see what that looks like. There we go. So we're getting various acknowledgements. If you want to read the message, you go back to message. That's a new message. You can tell by the symbol. Hit enter, and now we can see the whole message. And if you hit the right, we can see the second page. And that's how you use the phrases. In the phrases, I'm going to turn off APRS for the moment here. So now we can look at user phrases, which are very useful. Access menu number 560. So you go to menu 560, and you've got some phrases you can put in for different systems that you use. You hit enter, and you can add a phrase. You can put in whatever you want, and then you can save it once they're put in. Now, at APRS, this radio will receive any type of APRS packets, bulletins, anything you want. Now you can set what type of bulletins, but you can also set the beep, so it beeps on only certain items. Menu access 570, menu 570, and now you can set the beep off when you receive something, a message, your own messages, all new or all. Transmit beep 571, menu 571. You can change that transmit beep to on or off, which includes the beacon. And if it transmits a beacon, you'll hear the beep, but you can turn it off for any type of transmit. And then you have number 572, which is a special call that emits a sound when you've received a message from a special station. You must set the call sign, including the correct SSID from that station. And that is how you use APRS in this radio. So now let's talk about D-Star. This radio will do two modes, DV mode, which is digital voice mode, and DR mode, which is digital repeater mode. It's digital mode, but it operates through repeaters. So on digital voice mode, I can use simplex or directly call another radio and talk to them on digital voice. DR is used with a whole bunch of all the repeaters, which you have to set up your from and to access on the repeater. So the basic operations for DR is setting the local area for different setting your local area. You have to set your gateway, call sign, and call sign designation, and that is holding the up sign for that if I am in digital mode. So let's say I am on, now that's on DR mode. So let's go to, I'm going to go to A, and we'll go to 144. Something out of the way. 140, well actually 146,500, something under there. Now if I go to digital mode, this actually will set for digital repeater mode. If I hold it up for 1 second, the up switch, now I can use a local CQ, a gateway, an individual. I can call directly to a radio reflector, call history. Let's see what a basic setting of this, because D-Star is quite complicated. So if I set up for local CQ, let's see what that does. Okay, that will do local CQ, but it looks like on this, we are still on a repeater. The thing you want to do is when you go on function digital, go to function digital, Whoops. Actually, function digital only works when you're on digital. So go into digital and do function digital. Now I remember. So what you have to do is you can change this. Now we're on DV. So this is like any other digital radio, Fusion, DMR, or anything. Settings are a little bit different, but this is the easiest thing to do. This one on D-Star and Fusion, which is nice, you can just set this, it has your call sign, and that's it. I'm transmitting digital. You don't have to set anything. I'm not calling an individual person, but someone else with a D-Star radio can hear me, which works out fine. I use this, I speak D-Star simplex a lot and Fusion simplex. I've even done it on DMR. The difference, well, one thing I like about simplex, it's a lot easier in that you just identify, you're just transmitting digital, the other radio will pick you up regardless of the call sign. And it's on simplex, which is really nice. And I did not need to do any other settings. I just set it on digital voice, which is DV. Let me turn on the thing a little bit. There we go, so you can see it. I just set it on DV, and DV will transmit. Other radios like DMR, you have to set a thing called time slots. On D-Star and Fusion, I've never had to worry about that. It seems to work with just speaking on another radio. Remember, this is simplex. Now, I am in digital mode, so let me go function digital. Now, if we set it now, if it's a toggle, it's either DV or DR. So now you're on DR. Now, if you're on DR, if you hold it up, it's going to show you, this is the menu, local CQ, and this is what you're calling. Are you calling locally through a gateway? You can call a certain individual or the reflector. That's what this is. Or you can do direct, which is your call. Now we go back to the repeater. I actually do not have access to this repeater where I'm at, so this is just a demo of a repeater that it may be on the list or the repeater may be down, but it's good to show this. So if I go down, now it's asking from access from the repeater. We can get the from access, and I can get the, let's see. Yeah. If I hold it down, I can get a repeater list. And I can go through and I can find different repeaters that's in a database. One of the other things I was going to stress is entering a repeater is done actually through programming the radio. That's the only difference with this radio. That's kind of the only difference with this radio. You can get a repeater list, but you have to keep updating that list. I would do another video about updating that list. And I will actually do another video regarding, well, a more conclusive video regarding D-Star and this radio. I'm going to borrow or get another, there's another D-Star radio I can find, or I can have it communicate with a Raspberry Pi in D-Star. Nearby repeaters is actually going through a database. I need to update that database, so I will be posting a video on how to update that database. It doesn't really scan them. Like I say, it's scanning from a database. It's not going out and scanning digital information. Kind of wish it did, but no radio I know will do that yet. That's probably coming in the future. But the scan will take a while because it's going to wait for all those repeaters to key up. So now I'm going to take it off digital mode, and now we are back on FM mode. Now let's go through some important settings. Access menu, it's a number 610 in digital mode. If I go to digital mode and I do menu 610, this menu, you can set multiple call signs, but I have my call sign, and then you can put a tiny note. Can't fit too many letters. I can put my name. I can't put my full name, but I can put D74 after here. But you have to enter your call sign and make sure that you are registered on the D-Star gateway. If you do a Google search, you can find a D-Star gateway. You can go to www.dstarusers.org/repeaters.php, and then you can go through and register your call sign. And once you register your call sign, you will be identified on the D-Star network. I did it once before, and it's completely useless because once you do it, it's not going to do anything. So this is the menu to register your call sign. And remember, you have to register your call sign. Let's go back to the menu. We're in digital mode, function menu. And as I said, you have different choices on here. Now they're all lit up. You have the destination, and you have a CS setting. You can check your history for other past repeaters. You can go to the route. You can get details on the repeater. When I get a repeater going on this, I will add that to the video, and I'll bookmark it, or actually I'll put it on the table of contents. And then you can select the data mode for voice and data, or you can select voice or repeater. If I hit data mode, yeah, this is data. So it will only transmit data. It will not transmit any voice. I'm going to go back to the menu. If I go back to here, now we're on this symbol. Now we're on repeater mode. So going back to there, auto reply, I did a great experiment with auto reply where it will reply back with any audio. There's a recording you can set, and it's actually very, very useful. So those are the basic settings that you need for D-Star. And I think I have someone coming in on this repeater. There we go. Now this is the Malibu repeater. That's what communications looks like when you're in a good connection. You'll see a green screen and you will make a connection. This is actually a good example of a good connection. If you get a red bar here, it means you're not connected. So now you're seeing D-Star in action, what the screen actually looks like. And you can see it shows the names, if they, where they show where they're from, and they're in CQ mode. And then I have, they're using CQ like this one. That's who it's sending to on the repeater. So I'm actually going to save this repeater on there. So this is actually good repeater. Actually, on this repeater, I usually use the database, and it just goes through and finds the repeater. But this is staying on there this is on here on Malibu. I'm amazed I get it, but I will play with it, and I will leave you some information out, and I'll do a video on using D-Star on this radio. This radio is actually very easy to use D-Star. I kind of like it. It's really nice. And those are the settings for D-Star. So the most important settings. And if you enjoyed the video, feel free to give it a thumbs up, and make sure to go through the bottom, right on the bottom of your screen. You'll either find a line that goes across the bottom with different, the bar, you can touch it and it goes to different things. That's okay. You're going to see a lot of them, but use the table of contents. The table of contents on the bottom in the description, whether you're on mobile, I've done it on mobile, or on a desktop, you will see a HTML, you can click them, has a table of contents, and you can check anything on the radio that I have listed there, and it will go exactly to that video. If you need something simple, it will go to that video. So remember, 73s.